King Jr. got another video for y'all. Please sure that you like and subscribe to the channel, and also share the video to get all your latest boxing news, and be sure to hit that bell icon to always stay notified as soon as I release the news and comes out. With that being said, guys, we got some very bad and disturbing news. We know that Errol, Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford, everybody's clamoring for this fight, wanting this fight to happen. And Terence Crawford team comes out and says that Errol Spence is asking for too much money and the fight is holding up and stuff like that. So basically now we're hearing both sides of either party. Both guys want these fights and stuff like that. And I don't know what's going on. It was reports that Terence Crawford was asking for $20 to $30 million, and now they're saying that Errol Spence is asking for too much money. We heard from Stephen Espinosa saying that it might be a 50% chance that this fight will happen. There'll be a 50% chance if this fight doesn't happen, and that's not very good news if you hear a percentage like that. And Stephen Espinosa just simply says that there's not enough money in the pot to generate for this fight to happen. So a lot of people was coming up with the scenario, maybe if you put $40 million in the pot, you give $20 million to Errol, $20 million to Terence. Well, that's not simply going to work. If there was $40 million in the pot, it would be a scenario where Errol Spence would get like close to maybe 21, 22 million. Terence would get like 11 to 12. I'm not simply the biggest guy on numbers, but I think you guys know the concept of what the numbers could be like. And this is just simply not good. If you got Stephen Espinosa saying that there's just no money, there's no money found in the pot for this fight to happen. Both guys do want the fight. And I think his name was Tim Smith. Earlier of this year, I believe, he says that the money is just simply not there. I think that's what his name, I could be wrong, but the money is just simply not there for the fight to happen. This is not good. Maybe BFTB is right. Maybe he's right on this. I don't know, but it seemed like the speculation what BFTB was talking about, this fight may not happen, is possibly could be coming true. And shout out to BFTV Boxing. If you haven't subscribed, please go subscribe to BFTV Boxing. It has great content on there. So I'm hoping that the fight happens. I really am. This is bad news to hear from Terence Crawford team. They're saying Spence asked for too much money now. Spence has every right to ask for a lot of money because this is the biggest fight in the sport of boxing. But I don't understand why they don't have enough money in the pot to give these fighters. Where you got guys like Canelo Alvarez who's simply getting $150 million in fight, with guys that we don't want to see him really fight. So why can't they give Terence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. at least $20 to $30 million in a pipe, which that would be much cheaper than rather paying Canelo Alvarez $100 to $150 million. I mean, the star status, we know Canelo's a star, but his numbers are dropping as well. He didn't do big numbers against Bivol. So I'm assuming that they're going to have more people illegal stream this fight. That's why they're saying it might not be enough money in the pot, or it's just simply numbers, you know? According to reports that Errol Spence Jr. did $350,000 in his last fight with Dennis Udis, and according to reports that Terence Crawford did $150,000. So if you put the fight where pay-per-views are $75 per pop, simply that could accumulate maybe close to $30 million at most. But if the promoters and the managers or whatever the case may be is not looking towards the money they need, because it might be a situation where these guys got to get paid as well, because simply they want to pay the fighters maximum value, but they got to get their bread on the back end as well. And we know that Errol Spence Jr. does big numbers at the gate. Well, Errol Spence Jr. can only do so much, okay? He can only do so much. And Terence Crawford is the same way. He can only do so much at that gate. Hopefully everybody buys the fight. So which means that if they expecting to do big numbers, they would have to raise the pay-per-view up to close to damn near $100 to get the revenue for them fighting, try to get some money on the back end for the return of the investments. Believe me, I'm not a business guy. I don't know the numbers like that, but from a standpoint, if you explain it to me, I kind of do understand the standpoint of the numbers. And it's just simply, I don't know if this fight's going to happen or not. And guys, what was the number one reason why I said this fight not gonna happen? It's either going to be one side of the street or it's going to be money. And I said this, it's going to be money. And I don't believe that they don't have enough money. The money's not there. How can the money not be there, but the money's there for Dimitri Bivol and Canelo Alvarez? I know Canelo Alvarez is the biggest star in the face of the sport of boxing, but why did Showtime pay all Canelo Alvarez all that money when he fought Caleb Plant? Caleb Plant's not a known star. People barely know who Caleb Plant is. But you guys are paying them $100 to $150 million. But you can't put up the money, $40 to $50 million for Errol, Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford. That's amazing to me. I don't know if the fight's going to happen or not. I'm hoping that it does happen. If the fight does not happen, this is going to be one of the biggest letdowns in the sport of boxing that the diehard boxing fans was clamoring for. And this is what's going to kill the sport at the end of the day. I don't know how to simply put it or break it down even more than I can break it down. But numbers don't lie. At this point, I don't know what is the lie. I don't know who to believe. I'm starting to lose hope for this fight. I'm actually getting a little bit tired of talking about the fight. And I like both fighters, and I want to see them fight. And you've been hearing all the spiel that making Errol Spence this, Terence Crawford that, Terence Crawford wants 50-50, Errol Spence Jr. Wants more money. We don't know what to believe at this point. But like Terence Crawford team says, the only thing I can really hope for is that they said if everything is right, the fight could happen in November. But Terence Crawford team as well says the money isn't right as well. And I'm assuming the money isn't right for Errol, and Errol being the bigger star. So I don't know what is going on with the money. You're saying it's not there. They're going to have to show us proof that the money's not there. They just can't tell us words and say the money's just not there. I find that hard to believe. Even if the money's not there. Okay, let's say there was $20 million in the pot. I'm assuming you would give Errol Spence at least 12 to 11 million. You give Terence Crawford 6 to 7 million, whatever the case may be. It may be the promoters and stuff like that did the business, put on the fight, have some money on the back end. Y'all can't at least put $20 million or $30 million in the pot, but y'all just gonna say the money's not there. That's crazy. I don't believe there's no money for this fight. There has to be money for this fight. I'm surely a lot of people will buy this fight. I'm thinking this fight will do 500,000 pay-per-views, at least 500,000 pay-per-views with these two. But if the money's not there, and if you got Steven Espinoza saying this is a 50-50 chance that this fight will happen, that's not a good sign. And I wouldn't get your hopes up that the fight will happen. I'm hoping that it does, so I can go ahead and break this fight down in more specific detail on how I think it's going to play out at the end. But if the fight doesn't happen, it will be a letdown for both fighters. It'll be a letdown for everybody. And I think boxing will take a turn for the worse if this fight doesn't happen. And luckily, Deontay Wilder is coming back to try to bring some light to the sport of boxing once again, because once the heavyweight division goes, so does the sport of boxing. And now, since Deontay Wilder has a little hiatus in Terence Crawford, and Errol Spence is the only one to fill the shoes of the sport of boxing, if this fight doesn't happen, this will be a bigger letdown, and I don't think boxing will be able to recover from this. Just like Riddick Bowe versus Lennox Lewis never recovered from that situation. So, with that being said, guys, it is what it is. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. This is your boy King Jr. I'm out of here. Peace.